Good afternoon, students, and welcome to the contact classes for 2018. And your module that I'm going to present to you is Agricultural Education 1, and the code is BES AGE22, Bachelor of Education for Senior Primary. And my name is Abraham, and I am your tutor. And you can contact me on the mobile number, which is 081-4438-360, or you can just email me. In case you have got any question or any clarification, you can email me at this email address, which is asholongela@unam.na. And once again, I would like to say again, welcome to Agricultural Education 1. And I wish you all to be hardworking, dedicated, and self-driven students in this course. So these presentations cover the subject content in brief and some general guidelines that I want everyone to keep in mind when preparing for 2018 examinations. Just to give you a brief introduction on the course, I will discuss some of the content of your study guide in order to help you prepare for the coming examinations. By now, you should have a good idea what the subject is about, as you have completed an assignment. Please note that I cannot give attention to the whole content. So should you have any questions, please contact me for help. As you know that the module is quite bulky, so I'm only going to look at some of the few things on these modules. And now if you've got any other question or you need more attention, you can contact me on my previous contact details. You can call me so that I can give you a full attention on the modules, and me and you, we can discuss on the subject matter. So the following presentation that I'm about to give to you will highlight some important aspects and units of this module. So I would like you to use the study guide that you are being provided with. So use the study guide to prepare for your examination. Now, to start off with our modules, or with some of the important aspects or the units in our modules, I would like us to look at how agriculture provides food and income to the family. As we all know that agriculture is the main source of food, and also it can also be the main source of income to most families. So now, let us look at the importance of preserving food just at the household level. The main objective of preserving food mainly is to keep its quality for a reasonable length of time, or we refer to shelf life, before the food spoils or goes bad. Or in short, we can say the main objective of preserving food is to prolong the shelf life of the food product so that the food may not go bad or it might not get spoiled because it was not handled properly or it's mishandled. And now this method of preservation of food can be done by reducing water content in the food so it does not decompose. The main reason of reducing water content is because, as we all know, that microorganisms, they are more active in an environment which is a bit wet. So they are more active and they grow very fast, and in that case they might cause also, or they would temper up, or they cause spoilage to the food. Now, microorganisms also that decompose or rot food, as I said earlier, that they require moisture to survive. So if the water content in a food is reduced to about 12%, now then these bacteria would not survive or be very active. That's the reason why you have to reduce the water content of the food products. More especially in meat, for example, you can reduce it to about 12%, or any other perishable products. So water contents may be reduced to about 12%, and then this will deactivate the activities of microorganisms so that it will not cause rot or spoilage to the food. Now, looking at the various ways of preserving food at household level, we can also, because now we are talking about the household level where we live, Then we can also look at drying on fire in order to reduce the water content. Or the other way can be, for example, sun drying or curing and sorting. For example, in making biltongs. This really help to preserve the food and to also help to deactivate the activities of microorganisms. So most of them, they will not be able to grow or to be active in an environment that is too salty or the acidity is too high. Now, milk preservation at household level can be done according to the following cooling methods. Because we are going to look at milk, because milk seems to be one of the common or the most used household products or food products. So now I want us to look at how this milk can be preserved or can be held properly in order to preserve it or to keep it in a good condition so that it will be able to be or it will be fit for human consumptions. So therefore, you should keep the milk in the shade, not in the sun. It is very dangerous to keep the milk in the sun, so it's better for you to keep it in the shade so that you can also prevent the milk from getting spoiled. Then also keep the milk in a well-ventilated place. That means in the place where you keep it, there must be enough air movements or circulations of the air, not in the place where it is a bit more hot and there's no air moving in that place. Otherwise, you know, milk is a very sensitive product, and microorganisms, they like or they can easily tamper up with milk. Now, you can also use cold water to cool the milk. For example, if you are in the remote area, maybe in the rural areas, you are not in town, so cold water can be used to cool the milk. For example, you can put the milk container in the water bath or in a water stream, just to keep it cool. Then you can also use ice to cool the milk. And then, for example, maybe if you are traveling and you don't have access to refrigerations, so it's good or it's advisable to use the ice in order to cool the milk. For example, use the foreign cooling equipment, for example, the conventional refrigerator for small amounts of milk, and also evaporative charcoal-lined cooler. These are also modern technology that can be used in order to cool the milk. Now, also still looking at the aspect of productions in agriculture. So let us look at the benefit of proper usage of modern tools and machinery in agricultural production. As we all know that technology is advancing and also agriculture is also advancing, so we have some modern tools and machineries that are being used into the field of agriculture for some benefits. But however, these tools, once they are properly used, then they have some benefits which include reduced soil erosions. For example, if you use the machinery properly, for example, the plower, and then if you use them properly, then it can also lead to reduced soil erosion. So we know that the soil erosion is caused by the washing away of soil by the wind or the water. But once you use some of these modern technology or tools, then there will be reductions in the soil erosions. That's why we need, or we recommend, or we motivate farmers to use the modern tools or machineries. Then we also look at, another benefit is also the improved soil moisture content. As you can see that also, in most cases, we find that the top soils is dry, but once you use the plower, for example, the plower it goes a bit deeper of the soil surface and to bring out the soil which is wet, and that now lead to improved soil moisture content, making the soil more soft and also a bit moisture, and eliminating the soil which was dry on top. And then also this will also lead to a healthier and a more nutrients enriched soils. That means using some of these equipments will improve the health of the soil and also nourishes the soil so that the soil will be more conducive for plant growth. And it's also more beneficial for soil microbes and earthworms. And as we know that once the soil is well prepared and it's well, now it also now activate, or it will, the microorganisms or the earthworms, now they become more active And as you know that also some of these microbes or these earthworms, they are more beneficial to nourishes or to feed the soil so that the soil will also become conducive for plant growth. Now, reduce consumption also of fuels for farming equipments and hence maximizing the profit equations. And also another benefit is also the return of beneficial insects, birds and other wildlife in and around field because of abundant food. And I also want you in your study guide, because as I said that we are having a very limited time here but I would also like to, on your own, I'm urging you to read and understand the safety measures in using different hand tools and machinery in agriculture, and also the importance of soil in plant growth. So go in your study guides and look more closely and study this subject on the safety measures when we are using the different hand tools. So what are the safety measures that must be followed? And also when you use those tools and machineries. And also I want you to look at the importance of soil in plant growth. Go in details and see how is the soil is important to plant growth in agriculture. And also in your study guide, I also want you to look at the following aspects. The aspect of poultry production and also marketing. And I also want you to look at the aspect of vegetable productions and marketing. So look more deep on this subject. I want you to go and look very closer on this subject. For example, on the subject of poultry and marketing, I want you to understand, for example, why do we need to keep chickens? And also maybe the economic importance of keeping poultry, for example. And then also, how can you make profit, for example, on keeping poultry, or maybe for poultry production. So go details. A lot of information is provided in your study guide. I want you to go there and look at that subject very well for the poultry production and marketing, and also on the vegetable productions and marketing. So the most important aspect in agriculture, and it also contribute to local economies. For example, when you see how does this vegetable productions, how does it contribute to our local economy? As you can see, a lot of time we have street vendors that are selling fresh vegetables, for example, fresh tomatoes or onions or spinach. So look at this subject very closely on the vegetable productions and marketing. Now, looking also on the subject of how agriculture provides food for and also income to the family. On these ones also, I want you also to look very closely on the food securities. So I want you to look at that topic, on that issue, on that aspect of food security. As you all know that food security, when we talk about food security, we talk about food, it's about food availability, all accessibilities, and also utilization. Or we can say that food security is a state of having reliable access to sufficient quantity or of affordable, nutritious food. So because now, and also have to remember that it's not just about now having access to food or food being available or being affordable, but also the aspect of food safety must also be taken into considerations. So look also at the food situation in Namibia. As you all that Namibia is a Southern African country classified as semi-arid due to very low rainfall. And as we all know that about a third of the country, like 34%, receive more than 400 millimeters of rain per year annually. And Namibia produces about 66% of its staple food needs. When we are talking about the staple food, we are referring to things like pure millet, or maybe maize, or legumes. So these are most or the common local products or the staple food that we produce here in Namibia, and it produces about 66%. And now also again, I would also like to look in your study guide properly, or use your study guide properly, and understand the risk factors to food securities. In your study guide, you will come across the risk factors to food securities, and also look at the major challenges to food insecurity in Namibia. So what are those? When we are talking about food insecurities, is when we do not lack access to food or when food is not available. So as we are talking about Namibia is a dry countries and all this, so I want you to go deep in your study guide and look at the major challenges to food insecurities in Namibia. And I'm urging you, for your examination purposes also, and even also maybe for your upcoming assignments, please use your study guide and study it into more details and understand everything that is in your study guide. If you have any other problems, once again, with your notes or with your study, please feel free to contact me. I can guide you and I can explain to you how to use your study guide and also to make some of the topics that are more difficult to you for you to understand them. Now, another aspect that I want us to look at is the economic importance of agriculture and environmental problems of agriculture. As we have also spoken about the soil erosions. So soil erosions, as I said earlier, that is the washing away of the topsoil, which has more nutrients for plants, minerals, either being mineral salts or organic nutrients. Now we have got now two major types of soil erosions now, which may include now water erosions, or maybe it's wind erosions or tillage erosions. Now we have now the criteria that must be considered or considered desirable for any soil and also water conservation technology. And some of these criteria it must be for examples, it must be easy to construct. Okay? And then the construction or establishment material should be readily available. Technology must also allow easy of irrigations. And it should also facilitate working the soil. And it should not reduce the areas for cropping. And then it can be also used as field boundaries. You can go into your study guides and look at these criteria that must be considered, or these are the criteria that are considered being desirable for any soil conservation technology. Now, in your study guide also, I'm also urging you that you read and understand the objectives of dealing with challenges in agriculture in Namibia. Let us also look at the damage that are caused by diseases and pests on plants. We are also having some costs that are incurred by farmers in controlling diseases and pests. Therefore, in your study guide, I want you to understand various costs incurred by farmers in controlling diseases and pests. To tell you, or just to alert you, controlling pests or managing pests or diseases on a farm, sometimes it can be more costly and even frustrating, depending on how severe the condition or the situations may be. Now, some of these costs may be preventative costs. For example, the costs that are involved when you are trying to prevent these diseases to occur or to prevent some pests to take place. So we have some preventative measures in place and they are costly. And we are also having controlling costs. These are costs or measures that are used in order to control the outbreak of these diseases or pests on the farm. And then we also have now treatment cost. We also look at this cost. For example, the cost involved in the treatment of the diseases once the plants or any diseases outbreak on the farm that will require treatments and in most cases more costly. And we also look at the cost of eradication cost, for example, in the case of pests. So it's more costly and it's more frustrating sometimes to farms when you have to deal with eradication of pests in order because you want to get away of them or you want to eliminate those pests from your farm or in your crop fields. In your study guide also, I'm also advising you or admonishing you to read and understand the unit on how to take care of farm animals. Please do not leave that unit. As you go through your study guide, take a close look on how to take care of farm animals in your study guide. And also looking at now the essentials of water and light to plant. We are also having some methods of conserving or saving water in agriculture. So I would like us to look at these methods of conserving or saving water in agriculture. So one of the methods of saving water is when you're watering your plants or irrigating your plant or crop, you must do it early in the morning or maybe late in the evening. And this now conserves water due to lower evaporative losses, because once you do it in the morning, so the rate of evaporations is more or lesser comparing it when you are watering your plants during the day or when the sun is hot, and then the evaporation rate is very high. Now, if you water or irrigate during the day, as I'm saying, a lot of the water will evaporate and therefore will not percolate into the soil. Now, rainwater harvesting is also one method of preserving or saving water, and this technique mostly uses water tanks to capture water from the roof tops into the tanks. And this water can be used for household consumptions, and it can be also used for irrigation purposes also on our farms. And you can also preserve water by collecting rainwater from natural or man-made surfaces. For example, if you go in most of the rural areas, people dig wells, and these wells, in most cases, they keep water for a long period of times that can even lead up to the next rain season. And then also in your study guide, I want you to take a close look on weeds. We have the topic or the aspects of weeds. You must know what weeds is, the definitions of weeds, and its effect on plants, and also the damage caused by diseases and pests on plant. This you can read on your own in your study guide, and for you to prepare for your examination and throughout the year. And I also want to look at some tips on how to prepare for your examination. So ensure that you have all the study materials, all the resources required for these modules. This I mean that make sure that you have the correct modules for Agricultural Education 1. Because I want you to have the right information. If you know that you do not have the right materials or the resources, please feel free to contact me or call me on my mobile number, as I have provided. Then I can tell you and I can confirm that the study guide that you have is the correct one. Please also ensure that you spend enough time reading the prescribed materials and to follow the instruction carefully so as to ensure that you do not waste unnecessary time and effort. And I'm telling you the truth, students, you should take time, spend enough time to read your materials, because most of the time you find when students are answering during the examination or even during the assignments, you find that sometimes you give answers that are outside the scope. Sometimes you don't know even what type of sources these students have used. But I'm urging you, you can also use other sources of information or other study materials, but pay more attention on your study guides for your examination and assignments. Take time to first acquaint yourself with the content of the module by reading through the material carefully. I want you to go through your materials and also understand your material carefully. Make sure you understand the verbs that are used very well. For example, when you go in the examinations or through your assignments, you find some verbs. For example, maybe define. For example, maybe the question can come, define wheat. So you just have to be precise and give a precise definition of what wheat is. And also clarify, a verb like clarify, where you have to give clarity on a specific subject, or discuss or describe, etc. If you go in your study guide, most of these verbs are well explained. So I want you also to go on your study guide and read these verbs and understand them so that you have an idea or a clarification on how should I answer the examination questions. And I'm always pay attention to the marks allocated to each question and answer accordingly. Before you answer your questions, look at the mark in the brackets and answer according to those marks that is in your brackets or that's being awarded. Because in most cases you see the question is 10 marks and the student can only give you a paragraph or 2 or 3 sentences, which is not worth 10 marks. So make sure that you answer according to the marks allocated to each question. Never leave any question unanswered or blank. I urge you students, please put something on the questions. There is no a wrong answer, but it would be better if you put something on the question rather than you are leaving an answer blank without answering anything. Because sometimes, even if you are failing or you are maybe close to pass, when I'm as a teacher or as a tutor, when I'm trying to maybe try to look for something, maybe to, how can I make this person to get even a 1 score mark? I cannot just get it because you have left a question blank. Please answer according to how you also understand the questions. You do not need to memorize everything that's in your model, but you just need an understanding, an idea that can help you also write something in when you're answering your questions during the examination. So I'm urging you also to revise your assignments that you are already given, and also ask your tutor if you have any problems. So when you're preparing for your examination, never also leave your assignments. Also take a close look on your assignments. See the comments that your tutor have given to you on your assignments, and also see also where have you done wrong and where can you improve in answering the questions. So that can also help you to understand or even to prepare you better for answering the examination question. And please, lastly but not least, I'd like to say enjoy these modules and good luck with the assessments through assignments and examinations. That is part and parcel of your studies. And as I said always, perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did. So this is the end of our modules for 2018. And as I said earlier already, if you have got any question or you have got any problem with this unit or you don't understand anything, please, I am your tutor and I'm expecting you to call me and have a personal discussions on your modules so that I can help you. I'm there to help you to understand and to help you to have a good understanding and pass your modules. So to me, Abraham, your tutor, I would like to say all the best for your 2018 examinations.